What's up, guys? Welcome to a 10-minute follow a long stretch. Just sort of loosening up, looking at the clock here on the left, and we're going to get into it. Take a couple of deep breaths, relax. It's going to be fun. It's going to feel good. Coming down into an upward dog, pushing up. This is the big daddy of all stretches. I say this about all stretches, but this is that sort of like go-to bread and butter. This should be your staple in your stretching arsenal. Nice deep stretch. And we're coming back into a downward dog, stretching at the back, the hamstrings, and the calves. Come onto one leg at a time, just sort of kicking through, really feeling it in those calves. So on the left leg here, the gastrocnemius, if you want to know, is the name of the calf. We're going to get all fancy. Stretching at the back, coming forward again, pushing down, pressing up, head up, chest up. And we're looking up, stretching out that lower back, stretching out our spine. This is the reverse of everything we do when we're sitting down and hunching over. Coming down again into downward dog. Stretching at the back, the hamstrings, and the calves. I'm getting really comfortable now, just sitting here, just sort of lying here, pushing back. It feels lovely, and it's so good on my back. Nice, long, deep lunge. Try and get that knee over the toes as far as possible. Stretching out that hip flexor, and stretching a little bit of our hamstring as well. Just coming back and forth, feeling where it feels tight. Needs a bit of work. Switching the leg. Don't be afraid to move around. Twist the torso. Pushing forward, pushing forward. It looks like I'm a little bit tight on the left side. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Push, push, push. Breathe. Take a minute. And one of the lovely things about stretching is there's no particular rush. You can take your time. You can relax. You just do whatever you need to do while you can. Pushing forward, stretching out the back. Come onto your fingers to get that little bit of an extra stretch. A couple of cat-cows. Up and down. This is amazing for the abs. Great for the spine. Super, super, super important. 10 to 20 of these a day, and your back and your abs will feel incredible. Couple more, couple more. Let's go, buddy. Up and down. I should really lift my head a little bit more at the top here, but I'm just sort of focusing on my abdominals and lower back here. Loose as a goose, side to side, stretching it out. I forgot the name of these. But back and forth, stretch it out as far as you can. Elbow to the knee. We'll call them elbow to the knees. That's what we'll call them. Do your elbows to knees and another little stretch. Back and forth, back and forth. I only need 2 or 3 of these. Don't need to spend too much time on this. I sort of go towards stretches that I find feel good, get the most for it. And if you're not feeling it, that's okay. You can just sort of skip over it, go to the next one. Going into a child's pose, coming back. And a nice deep squat. Open up your groin. Get those hips working. Also quite good for your lower back and for your posture. Sitting up as straight as possible. I was leaning forward. Now we're going to rotate the spine. Try and touch the ceiling. Try and keep your heels on the floor here. As you'll notice, see, as I come up, it starts to slowly lift my heel up and my knees want to come in. Fight that a little bit. A bit of a nip slip. Nothing wrong with that. Hold it down. Crouch down. Get into a little ball. Get small and coming up. Down and coming back up. Ideally want to get that as straight as possible. Coming down, touch the toes. This old hamstring stretch here. This is going to have got a lot of work with this one. It's going to happen over time. But hey, come back to my channel in 10 years and I'll have my knee and my head on my knee. I'll be super duper flexible. One cool thing about doing these YouTube videos is it's a great way to check your progress. And I'm excited to see where this goes as we stay with it. Because I see no reason not to. Since I discovered yoga and stretching, I feel so much better for it. I feel like my joints are more protected, my muscles are more protected. I feel better, I feel less stressed. Now this exercise here, I don't know what this is called, but this is the one I think that if everyone did more of this, or some sort of a stretch similar to this, no one would have lower back problems. Whenever I feel like my back's a bit tender, I go down, I come back all the way down. I wasn't able to do this as easily as I could. It took me a while to get. Really good for stretching out your quadriceps as well. But it's so good for the lower back. So if you can do this, if you can get down on the ground, I don't want to say I promise you'll never have back problems, but it will definitely minimize that. While I'm here, I'm just sort of going side to side, stretching out my shoulders. Who knows what I'm about to do next? I can't remember. And we're back down into an upward dog. You really can't do too many of these. Nothing wrong with this. Just treat yourself. Go as much as you want, as little as you want. Back into a downward dog. I would like it if I could get this a little bit straighter. But if you had have seen me when I first started stretching, you would have seen how terrible this was. Now again, we're opening up the hips, coming out the side, going straight up, and we're pushing straight up into the air, and then we're tilting out a little bit, just feeling it, just letting that stretch out. Now we're really going for it. This feels so lovely on the obliques, coming out into, I believe they call this wild thing. I'm not doing it perfectly right, but guys, it doesn't matter about doing it perfectly right. It just matters about having a go, stretching out the body, feeling it. This is so good for the shoulders as well. This one, I should really do more of this because my shoulders are quite tight. Coming back into an upward dog. Up, 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 up. Get that chin up, that chest up, that head up. Back to a downward dog. You can't do an upward dog without doing a downward dog. Knee to elbow, knee to the other elbow, and we're going to bring it into pigeon. Probably my favorite stretch of all. I could sit here for a good 2 minutes. Doesn't sound like a long time, but in stretching times, 2 minutes is a fair bit. Coming down, we're going to push forward. I believe we push forward. Wait for it. But I'm just enjoying the stretch. This is so good for your glutes. Everyone's glutes are tight. As I'm recording this, I'm sitting at a computer and tightening up these glutes. You've got to balance it out, guys. If you don't stretch out your glutes, you will have some sort of a problem at some stage in your life. That might sound a little bit like absolute, but I guarantee it's going to happen if you train, or worse, if you don't train, and your glutes are tight. You're going to have problems. It's going to pull on your back. It's going to pull on your nerves. I personally think this is one of the huge things that start sciatica, is tight hamstrings and tight glutes. If more people stretch beforehand, you could probably avoid those things. I'm sure there's a doctor out there who's like, that's wrong. Probably, I might be. But I just think being loose, stretching, you're going to avoid so many problems. You're going to get the most out of life. You're going to be healthy. You're going to be fit. You're not going to get injured. Now working on stretching out the groin. I believe these are called Cossack squats. Just going left to right. Nothing too crazy here. Just a bit of mobility. Feeling it in that groin. I pulled my groin last year. I think I minor tear. But I'm back and stronger than ever. And I attribute a huge amount of that is to frequent stretching. Going from a Cossack squat into a lunge, back to the squat, and turn into a lunge. Since we've already sort of stretched out our lunges, I'm just feeling it. I'm just floating around, just moving. Coming into our side splits. This is one of those stretches I feel like I have not improved at all on. Could be to do with my joints. I was watching a YouTube video the other day talking about how everyone's joints are different, so we are more. Some people find it easy to do the splits. I'm not making excuses for myself, but just it was interesting to see. However, my front splits are slowly getting there. If you'd have seen videos of me when I first started stretching out my splits, you'd be like, oh, wow, look at how far he's come. So maybe give it another year or two, and I'll get myself on the floor doing a lovely front split. This is the one I'm talking about, which I feel like it's not really doing it justice here, but it is so much better than what it was. I think the thing that's really letting me down is that looks better there. That's pretty good. Is my hamstrings and my calves, but we're working on it. We're working on it, guys. Remember, progress, not perfection. Stretch, 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 stretch. Feel it, feel it. I feel it so much in my left hamstring there. And we're going to switch around the other way. Transitioning, it used to be very uncomfortable, very tight. And now, because I'm opening up my hips, opening up my groin, all these things, everything feels better. I feel like I sleep better. My lifting is better. My joints don't hurt the same way. I cannot stress enough how much I love stretching. And all you need is 10 minutes. I do 10 minutes after every session. And then even when I'm not training, I just try and stretch for at least 10 minutes every single day. And I think you'd be amazed at how much better you feel. And one of those, once you start feeling great, you never want to go back. So it's not like anything in life, it's sustainable, okay? Because I don't do things that some people do like 100 burpees every day. I don't like that. That doesn't feel good. It just hurts. It ruins me. Stretching feels lovely. The way I train, it feels good. So try and find something that you guys can do that's sustainable. 5 minutes of stretching is better than no minute stretching. 2 minutes of stretching is better than no minutes of stretching. All right, doing a bit of yoga-y stuff here. I want to get everything straight one day. We're not quite there yet, but just checking where we are. Extending the leg. I mean, for a dude, I'm pretty decent. I'm like kind of flexible. I'm kind of getting there. Just stretching out the shoulders here, side to side. Give it a little wiggle, wiggle. Do your little hip thing. This is my little on stage move, the hip thing. There it is. Push, push, push. Touch the toes. Twisty twist. We're done. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love. Mwah.